Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So I'm going to be continuing on with my Atari 400 series of the games that I picked up, and today is Pac-Man. Now, this game needs no introduction. It's Pac-Man. Everybody knows who Pac-Man is. Even kids today know who Pac-Man is. There's a cartoon still going around. There's multiple games. There's even games on the PlayStation 4, and I mean, it's Pac-Man. So I grew up playing some of the earlier versions of it. Now, when I was a kid, I didn't have the official Pac-Man game on anything. I didn't have it on my Intellivision. I don't even know when it came. Like, it came out at a later date, I think, on the Intellivision. I played a lot of games that were like Pac-Man, like Lock and Chase, and things like that, where it's a dot gobbling game. Even on my Commodore 64, I had quite a few dot gobbling games, but not Pac-Man. I had Miss Pac-Man at one point on my Commodore 64. And then when I got my Atari Junior, I ended up with Pac-Man, well, Miss Pac-Man. But I did get to play Pac-Man on the 2600, which is this one, when I borrowed an Atari from a friend, and I got to try it for the first time. And at that time, it wasn't too bad for me. But that was just, I didn't really go out to the arcades all the time, so I didn't really have the full Pac-Man experience anyways. So playing this wasn't a big deal. So this one obviously is going to be a lot more colorful, a lot more advanced, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot different. So I'm expecting it to be a little bit more like the arcade. So I'm going to put this into my Atari 400, and we're going to see how this game actually runs and plays in comparison to some of the other Pac-Man games out there. Okay, so we got Pac-Man, Atari, 1982. This is on the 400, of course, and yeah, we got a nice little intro screen here. We got that's your players, 1-up. I guess they've been using 1-up for a long time for video games. High score, which there's nothing because I haven't played anything yet. That's actually pretty nice. The nice blocky Pac-Man look, what you would have seen on the arcade cabinets. So we got the one-player game, press select for two-player game. So yeah, I mean, it's the cool thing about the Atari 400 or the Atari computers is you got the keyboard, so you can actually make selections that way. Press option to change difficulty. So there's an option key on the keyboard as well. So right now it's defaulting to the cherries, which I guess is the easiest. And then we got, what's that, a strawberry? Kind of looks like a raspberry, though. It doesn't really look like a strawberry. I guess that's an orange. Looks like an orange. Peach. Could be an orange. Peach. That's probably an apple. What's that, a pear? They're not really legible. That's the Atari symbol. I recognize that. That's kind of neat. You get the Atari symbol. You can eat the Atari symbol. I don't know what that is. That's kind of weird. It almost looks like an orange as well. And we got a key. And we go back to the cherries. And press start to play the game. So let's do that. Hit the start key. Not bad sound effects. Let's see here. We got all the different ghosts. You can really see their color in this version as well. In the original, I mean the 2600 Pac-Man, the ghosts were really almost like blue, like a light blue, and they were pretty invisible. Like they would flicker. But this does, I mean, this really kind of gives you that arcade experience. Now obviously it's much wider. The arcade, most arcades are much longer. They're more of like the portrait, whereas your TV games are going to be more landscape. So you'll find that that'll be a big difference there. Yeah, I'm losing. And there's the little Pac-Man guys down there. So let's see how the gameplay is. Let's see if it's smooth. Sorry, I just got the power pellet. That's nice. Whoa. See, that's the thing. You can tell the difference between when they're dark blue and when they're back to their normal color. Which is good. Because that was the other thing that the 2600 version would confuse you, was they almost look the same when you got the power pellet. But the board does seem definitely wider, like going across. That's okay. The the point is, it really does look like Pac-Man. I mean, it looks like the actual arcade Pac-Man. Like, it's hard to believe that back in, you know, the early 80s, like what was it, 82 or when this came out, that you'd be able to play something this realistic to the actual arcade, comparing it to, say, the 2600, where the game didn't look anything like the arcade. I think when I play Pac-Man, I usually play a very similar pattern where I like to start on the bottom left corner and work my way up. I don't know if 100% if this is mimicking or mirroring the actual board on the arcade. I didn't line them up to see, but I mean, from what I'm playing, it sort of looks like the original. Maybe slightly different, but it definitely feels like I'm playing arcade Pac-Man. I mean, this is what people would have wanted back when the Atari first came out, and when they found out there was going to be an actual Pac-Man game that they could plug into their home video game system and play Pac-Man at home. This is what people would have wanted, so I can understand the frustration when they actually got the original Atari Pac-Man. Like the 2600 version anyways. So I just completed 2 boards, but I didn't see any kind of cut screen. I don't know if it doesn't happen right away. Maybe I have to go to 3 boards. I'm already on that 3rd piece there. It's a game over screen. I always like how they made this nice little tune that you only hear when you first start the game. That sound in the original arcade, the sound it makes when you plug the quarter in, and then the game starts, you get that little tune, and that's the only time you ever hear that tune, is when you start the game. It never plays again, as far as I know. You do have that kind of siren noise in the background, and you can kind of hear it. It does make a lot of different sounds, that's for sure. A lot of it does sound kind of, I don't know, that siren-y sound. Not the most appealing. I think I'm in trouble. Gotta get down there, and there's a ghost down there, and I can't get down there. I'm gonna have to go through the wall. They're all kind of hanging around down there, guarding the power, the dots. The dots that I need to eat. There we go. It's nice and colorful too. I like the blue. I like the dark blue and the yellow. I mean, it's just great contrasting colors. Yeah, I don't think there's a cut screen. That's kind of... oh well. Let's see if I can get to the next board. Never been the greatest at Pac-Man. I don't know why. Even at Great Wolf Lodge, when I play on the Pac-Pot machine, which is like pretty much just Pac-Man, but you only get one shot at it. Well, really just one shot at it. 1 life per swipe, I guess. Or, well, actually, I think you get 3 credits. But you have to complete the board in 1 credit. If you die, you start again with a full board of dots. Oops. Unlike this, where I just died, and I can continue on and try and pick up those remaining dots. Also, it's got this extra bonus level. But, I mean, that Pac-Pot game that you might see in like modern arcades today, it's designed to spit out tickets. It's not designed to give you the Pac-Man experience. It's all about tickets. That's where the arcades are nowadays. It's all about tickets. Winning tickets. It's not about playing for the score anymore. Kids don't want to play for scores. They want to play for tickets so they can buy cheap plastic crap at the little counter there where they allow you to cash in your rewards. Because I guess playing video games is not rewarding enough. You need plastic junk to go with it. Oh no! I just got eaten up. This is it. This is my last life. Let's make it count. See if we can pass this level and see if there's another screen. Or... Uh-oh. I don't have a good feeling about this. I think that's the thing with Pac-Man. It likes to give you anxiety. Permanent anxiety. Pac-anxiety. I don't know. If that's even a thing. Pac-Man anxiety. Looks like I'm going to make it because I got a power pellet there. It's the thing, I usually just use the power pellet to make sure I'm not going to get killed. Nope. We've entered another screen and still no cut screen, which is kind of upsetting. I thought there would be one, you know? This is the Atari computer after all. It's the 8-bit computer. Where's the little cut screen where Pac-Man comes out and meets Miss Pac-Man and gives her a kiss and all that other stuff? Just not existing in this game for some reason. Also, the board never changes, but that's, I think, common with Pac-Man. I think Miss Pac-Man has 2 different boards. Overall, though, pretty good. I mean, it's Pac-Man. Looks like Pac-Man. No! So that was actually pretty decent. I mean, I was quite surprised on how well this game is. I really felt that you know, I was playing on the arcade version. Definitely a lot different than when you play on this one. Like, there's no comparison. Now, I'm not going to say that this game sucks. It's not that it sucks. It's okay. It's just, it doesn't give you the full Pac-Man experience. It kind of does in some ways, but like I was saying, there's some problems where the ghosts are kind of hid, like they're kind of invisible, they flicker. There's, you know, you can't tell the difference between the ghosts. Apparently they are colored, but it's very, very faint color, so you can't really tell the difference. Not like this one, where you can actually see the color scheme. You actually see the ghosts are all different colors, and when you actually do get that power pellet, they really do turn that dark blue, and you can really tell that they are, you know, you can eat them at that point. And that was one of the things that can really confuse you, especially when, you know, the ghosts go back to their little cave thing in the middle there, or, well, not the ghosts, the eyeballs. When you eat them, they just become eyeballs. They fly back to the little cave, and then when they come out, they're fully regenerated, but they're they're not under the power pellet anymore, which is kind of weird, because you would think that even just coming out of there, they'd still be, you know, you could still eat them. But for whatever reason, they decided no. Once they go down there, they regenerate. They're back to normal ghosts that you cannot eat, even when the others are still blue. It's a kind of a weird thing about Pac-Man. But yeah, I mean, with this one, you almost can't tell the difference when you can eat them and when you can't. So this one actually had that. It also had, like, you know, it played a lot smoother. I didn't find that the controls were kind of any clunky or anything like that. They were nice and smooth, and I mean, I just felt it was kind of an easy experience, and that's weird though, because normally I'm not good at Pac-Man games, so I felt that this one was a little easier than some of the other Pac-Man games I've played. And again, that's different because I've been finding that most of these 400 or the 8-bit games are harder for me, like Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. I was having a hard time playing those. They were much harder. So the fact that this is a little bit easier on me, that says a lot. But yeah, I mean, far better improvement than, you know, its little counterpart. There is, you know, obviously the Atari had Miss Pac-Man, which kind of made up for this one. And there's been some homebrews that came out, Pac-Man 4K, I think it's called. I think there's like a couple of them where programmers of today have actually gone in and created a brand new Atari 2600 Pac-Man that really matches or closely matches the arcade experience, kind of like this guy. Also to note, I mean, the Intellivision does have a Pac-Man, and it's very much like this one. I haven't actually done any video on it or anything like that, or like spent some time on it, but after I bought this and I plugged it in and I checked it out, I was quite surprised at how well this was done. Anyways, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I I was surprised I was able to get that far. Usually I don't get too far in Pac-Man. I'm pretty bad at it, like most dot gobbling games. And, you know, I kind of get that feeling, you know, the dreaded feeling like I'm going to get killed every time I'm moving. And so it just, yeah, it's just Pac-Man. It just gives me a little bit of that, ugh. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think of Pac-Man on the 400 or the 800 or the 8-bit, you want to call it. It's a strange thing about these games is they work on multiple systems. Versus, say, the 2600. Which one did you grow up with? Do you still like the 2600? I still don't mind it. And I'd like to hear your comments. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe to my channel. Talk to you later.